I got another article.
Okay.
But before we jump into our next article, I'm going to do verse of the day. The verse of the day comes to you from 2 Corinthians 4, 8 through 10. 2 Corinthians, it's a whole ball game.
There you go.
So here we go. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed, always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Jesus, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our body. So there's lots of nutty, crazy stuff going on, and you can't just close your eyes and bury your head in the sand and say, there are no weeds, there are no weeds. Mm-hmm. So we recognize what's going on, and we recognize Christ is King. He's coming back, and he's going to square everything up. Mm-hmm. And we are to occupy till he comes. So that's what we're doing. And occupy means doing his work. Occupy means being involved in your children's lives, training your children, raising your own food, being part of the process, not farming out the process, not divvying it out and exchanging it for fiat currency, whether it is, through some government school or private Christian school, or farming your food out to Walmart or what have you, right? You got to be in the process, part of the process. You have to participate. It's the only way that you will be informed enough to make an impact and to make a difference.
Yep.
And just like you need to meet people in real life and talk to people in real life. This is why we are also instituting the local meetups. We can't just be so virtual that because not if, but when they clamp down on things and censor things and create things and disappear things, like, we could be disappeared down the rabbit hole or down the memory hole in a heartbeat, And so that's why, but in light of all that, we aren't troubled by it because Christ is King. So just a reminder, as we go to our next article, war on farmers. We always like to, since this is kind of like our thing and it's something that we do, that we're interested in, we always talk about the control of food. And I do like to point out that this isn't like a local issue. This isn't a state issue. This isn't a national issue. This is a global issue.
Global. Yep.
And when you see this global trend, it does tend to reinforce this whole one world government, new world order, and it really makes when the entire world conforms in lockstep. Maybe like 4 years ago, like we watched that lockstep and we watched this war on food in lockstep.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something to this like technocratic control grid and this, maybe there's something to all of it. War on farmers, World Bank, what do they got to do with food? World Bank sowing seed colonialism in Africa. This is brought to you by the Off Guardian. In Kenya, a law was passed in 2012 that prohibits farmers' rights to save, share, exchange, or sell unregistered seeds. Farmers could face up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to 1 million Kenyan shillings, equivalent to nearly 4 years' wages for a farmer. However, in 2022, Kenyan smallholder farmers launched a legal case against the government, called for reform of the 2012 seed law to stop criminalizing them for sharing seeds. Have you ever heard of anything so obscene and absurd? There's nothing more natural than a seed-bearing plant bearing seed. There's nothing more normal and more natural than saving that seed. You have the plant, it bears the fruit, it bears the seed. You save the seed in preparation for the following year because that is just wisdom. And that's what we have been doing for thousands of years.
Yeah.
But now that we have microbiology, which for those of you that don't know, microbiology is a postmodern new world post-truth term for eugenics. So, and if you don't know what eugenics is about killing people, and it's about favored races and killing the least favorite races. Asked Margaret Sanger et al. Okay, so microbiology does the same thing, same people. They just the word eugenics got ugly, so they kind of needed to scrub it. So they rebranded it and called it microbiology. So now microbiology allows us to genetically modified seeds and patent their DNA. And then you hold the copyright patent on biological organisms like plants.
Crazy.
And then you can criminalize the sharing of seeds. And they're doing this in America. Bear Santo and they, them, and those, and the usual suspects do this stuff. Agroecologist and environmentalist Claire Naski-Akello says that in legal terms, the sharing and selling of indigenous seeds is a criminal offense in Kenya. In effect, Kenyan Seeds and Plant Varieties Act demolishes self-sufficiency among smallholder farms whose use indigenous seed to grow food. Writing on her website, she says that the legislation seeks to create a dependency on multinational companies by smallholder farms for seeds, thus giving an upper hand to these firms that continue to steal biological resources from local communities with a profit-driven mindset. It is, in effect, a move designed to impoverish smallholder farmers and lock them out of farming. And this is absolutely no different than here in America, what big ag and big bio and what has been happening here with big soy and big corn. And their sole intent is to envelop everything to, grow fuel corn instead of food corn. And you're talking to a guy that doesn't even eat corn anymore. But this is still an attack on food. And this is the same playbook that they're playing here in America. Gates, Rockefeller, and big agribusiness. We were just reading this JD Vance article, and how many times, you read something and it's just like usual suspect, usual suspect.
All in bed.
Oh, but not JD Vance. He is somehow some pillar of purity or something. Gates, Rockefeller, and big agribusiness, the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA initiative funded by Gil Bates and Rockefeller Foundations, has been intervening directly in the formulation of African. Oh, they're doing this to help people, by the way. I should have said that. They're intervening directly in the formulation of African governments' agricultural policies on issues like seeds and land, opening up African markets to U.S. agribusiness. What business does U.S. big ag have in Kenya? Around 80% of African seed supply comes from millions of small-scale farmers recycling and exchanging seed from year to year. But AGRA is supporting the introduction of commercial, chemical-dependent seed systems. So this is like your Roundup Ready products. Enabling a few large companies to control seed research and development, production, and distribution, so we can feed the world. Since the 90s, national seed laws reviews have taken place, sponsored by USAID and the G8, along with Gates and others, opening the door to multinational corporations' involvement in seed production. Regulations and seed certification laws are often brought in by governments on behalf of industry that are designed to eradicate traditional seeds by allowing only stable, uniform, and novel seeds on the market, meaning corporate seeds. These are the only regulated. How absurd, y'all. postmodern, regulated. These are the only regulated seeds allowed, registered, and certified. Oh, but they're certified. Oh, wow. It is a cynical way of eradicating indigenous farming practices at the behest of corporations. Also, notice how this doesn't involve in any way anything that is truly regenerative or actually caring for the planet or actually truly green and regenerative. Notice how this all involves multinational corporations and chemicals and pesticides. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? And it also involves billions of dollars, and it involves billions of dollars being extracted from Kenya and going into the pockets of big ag. Whereas prior to that, the Kenyans were getting along great by themselves. You know, like before you wanted their 8-year-olds to extract cobalt with their fingertips and all that stuff. This is a total Belt and Roads. This is Cecil Rhodes. This is the whole. It's it's tragedy and hope, and it's the same playbook over and over again. Thousands of seed varieties have been lost, and corporate seeds have increasingly dominated agriculture as peasant farmers have been prevented from freely improving, sharing, or replanting their traditional seeds. It amounts to the privatization of a common heritage. Another thing, y'all, is the heritage seeds actually work in their zone and environment. And these pesticide, chemicalized seeds don't. And they pollute the soil and they break the natural cycle and they increase the pest population. And it will become pestilence, They'll start using this, and then the locusts will be a factor of 10. They are creating a mass extinction, mass devastation event because they mucks, and they just so happen to make billions of dollars when they mucks, and a lot of people get to die in the process, and nobody gets helped in the process.
No.
Except for Bill Gates and the Rockefeller Foundation. And their nonprofit organizations grow by hundreds of billions of dollars. Wink, wink. The privatization and appropriation of intergenerational farmer knowledge embodied by seeds whose germplasm is tweaked and stolen by corporations who then claim ownership. Microbiology. Seed has been better living through science. Trust the science. Seed has been central to agriculture for 10,000 years. Whoa.
That's a long time.
And supposedly, everything evolved and everything was cool. But now we got stomachs.
Yeah.
Now we got stomachs. Seeds have been handed down from generation to generation. Peasant farmers have been the custodians of seeds, knowledge, and land. The corporate control over seeds is also an attack on the survival of communities and their traditions. Seeds are integral to identities because in rural communities, people's lives have been tied to plants, harvesting, seeds, soil, and the seasons for thousands of years. Yeah, and in many cultures, seed was a currency, and that's another reason why you want to capture it, is you want to extract all the wealth. Privatization of seeds is a global issue, of course. In Costa Rica, for example, the battle to overturn restrictions on seed was lost with the signing of a free trade agreement with the U.S. Why do we have to be involved in every despicable, disgusting thing, every extraction of wealth, every demolishing of anything good, righteous, and holy, like the U.S.? No, there's a reason everybody hates us. And I realize, and I'm thankful and blessed for being here.
Absolutely.
And if it wasn't for my government, but like we just have to destroy everything we're associated and affiliated with. I mean, just look at men and women in America. We've effectively even destroyed the notion of that. Just look at the Olympics. Don't look at the Olympics.
No,
and I
please.
didn't,
No.
But yeah, exactly. Seed laws in Brazil has created a corporate property regime for seeds, which effectively marginalized all indigenous seeds that were locally adapted over generations. This regime attempted to stop farmers from using or breeding their own seeds. What we're seeing is a drive towards the corporate commodification of knowledge and seeds, the erosion of farmers' environmental learning, and the undermining of traditional knowledge systems, and an increase in farmers' dependency on corporations, and a complete devastation of the landscape. I mean, this will completely decimate over the course of 10, and it takes a while to kick in, but this will create super strains of super pests, and this will devastate and completely eradicate the soil.
Yep.
Such dispositions and dependency are sold by Gates and the agribusiness sector as meeting the needs of modern agriculture. What it really means is a system adapted to meet the demands of global agri-capital, institutional investors like BlackRock, and corporate-controlled international markets and supply chains. Meanwhile, these vested interests try to depict Africa as a basket case in need of intervention. Like, y'all been doing good for the last 5,000 years, but we need to intervene and make some money and help y'all out.
Didn't this happen before? And then there's a big flood wiped out and killed everybody. Didn't that happen?
Oh yeah, that happened a while ago. Very similar.
They were monkeying.
Was lots of genetic monkeying.
They just kept monkeying, and
they effectively genetically destroyed everything
except for one family,
and then one family, and maybe that's the Texas boys. I don't know. No, I think there's more than one of us. I think
so. Yeah,
but I do feel like I'm on an arc, and I feel like the rain is coming. But remember the verse of the day, y'all. We laugh because we don't want to cry. It's a convenient smokescreen that diverts attention from the political economy of food and agriculture, not least how contrived debt traps and predatory lending practices led African nations into succumbing to structural adjustment programs, turning the continent from being a net food exporter into a net food importer, undermining indigenous crops diversity, and with it, food security and food sovereignty. Bam. Professor Walden Bello and John Furrer argue that in this respect, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund and the World Trade Organization are key to understanding the process involved in destroying African agriculture. Neoliberal shock therapy left poor African farmers more food insecure and governments reliant on unpredictable aid flows. Bello and Furrer argued that the social consequences of structural adjustments, cum agricultural dumping, were predictable. The number of Africans living on less than $1 a day more than doubled to 313 million people between 1981 and 2001, or 46% of the whole continent. The role of structural adjustments in creating poverty, as well as severely weakening the continent's agricultural base and consolidating import dependency, was hard to deny. And now we have Agra stepping in to apparently save the day. But what we have seen thus far with that initiative is more of the same, according to the Institute for Agriculture and Trade Policy. So what I'll do as well is I will I'll link this article in the show notes as well, so you can finish reading this. But just wanted to bring those two thoughts and ideas to you. We love and appreciate y'all, and we enjoy the feedback. If you are listening to us over on the Fountain app, we can interact over there. Y'all can leave comments, and you can drop some sats, and you can promote us over there, and we can actually we can interact on the Fountain app. So if you have any questions, you can ask questions over there. As always, you can ask questions down below if you're on Rumble or YouTube or wherever you're at. and we will get back to you.
Yeah. But and whichever podcatcher you're listening to this on, remember to drop a review. It always helps just to be able to push this out to everybody out there.
Good call. Yeah, we're getting traction. And I just want to remind you of our meetup on August 3rd, this Saturday from 10 to 12. So come check us out IRL. We love hanging out with y'all and getting to talk.
Also, there is still 3/4 of a beef left. So if anybody is interested in some grass-fed grain finished beef, it is for local pickup only in Northeast Texas at the Atwoods in Mount Pleasant, Texas. And it'll be done in probably about 4 to 5 weeks from now. So if you are interested in that and you want to get a deposit down on that, so then you're all set and ready to go ahead and email us at countrytexasboys@gmail.com. That is countrytexasboys@gmail.com, and just say what you want. We have 3/4 of a cow left. We normally sell wholes, but there's only 3/4 left. So there'll be a half and a quarter, or if you want just 1/4. So anyway, and it is for half a cow, we're doing $9 a pound. And then for quarters, we do $10 a pound. And that comes with all the organs, all the different cuts of meat. But for more information, just go ahead and email us, and we can get you hooked up.
countrytexasboys@gmail.com. And I don't think we have to do a health check. No. Keep an eye on the YouTube channel. Faith and I are going to be doing this carnivore program. It's like a 30-day challenge thing, and we're going to be tracking it and monitoring it and keeping you all up to date and posted over on the channel.
Going more hardcore.
We're getting some carnivore coaching.
Going to do some hardcore.
Going to do some fun stuff to keep it real.
There you go.
All right, y'all. We love and appreciate y'all. And remember, y'all, stay fearless, my friends.